How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming out been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This will be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Good morning, Mr. Charles, or good afternoon. Usually we would get kicking in the morning. Today, off to a little bit of a New York start, I guess. I thought, are New Yorkers fashionably late, or are they so much in a hurry that they're always on time, Charles?
I think they're always late.
You think they're always late? All right,
Yeah.
well, it could be. So there we go. We're not really late because the first post isn't for another half an hour, but we're late by our standards for sure, Mr. Charles.
That's right. It's kind of a late day, but I like this card at Belmont today.
Oh, really? I kind of struggled a little bit, to be honest with you, especially as the card went on. I felt like I like the card in terms, I think there's a lot of opportunity there, but I feel like a lot of those races, there's really not a lot separating the top 4 or 5 horses.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can make money like you just finished saying. So
yeah, I think that's probably the big key there, right?
Yep.
All right, I was going to bring up on our screen that last night we talked with Rachel Slavinsky, a young jockey up in Woodbine, but unfortunately, here we go. Now I can actually bring it up. If you haven't had a chance to check out that show, a lot of people watched it. It was a great show for sure. Emma Harris, very smart rider on Northern Passage. Tell us about the mount, and the nice young lady was able to share that. And Janet Foible said she really enjoyed this interview. Great job. So if you want to enjoy a great job of interviewing, check that out. It's on Horse Racing Radar TV. While you're here, kindly hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you like what Charles and I do today or any day, please give us the thumbs up on Facebook and as well on YouTube. And then, of course, follow us on all of our social sites. So yesterday, Charles, we should have gotten a lot of thumbs up because I think both of your bets won, and then we ended up kicking the pick 4 at the end. And, man, I was rooting for that 9 horse because that was the difference between a $900 for a buck and $3,600 for a buck.
Yeah. But, hey, you know what? It's okay. It's horse racing, right? That's why we try to hit those big ones, right?
Well, money is money, right? That's the way.
That's right. Win is a win.
It's kind of, I get, you're familiar with the fable with the dog with his reflection in the bone.
Mm-hmm.
So the dog sees his reflection. He's got a bone. So he drops his bone to get the second one and loses them both. It's kind of how you feel when your 2 horses are running 1 and 2 down the stretch to close out a pick 4. You kind of want the one, you even though you got the bone now, you're going to get the win. You start looking at the bone and the reflection like, come on, man, 9. And then you get a little bit disappointed when the shorter price one wins. And
I know. After
a couple seconds, you're like, all right, bleep it. I won. All right, that's good.
Yeah, that's how it ends up. You're right. Just bleep it, and I'm good with it.
Well, let's see if we can be good with it today at Belmont Park. Starting in race number 1, they're going to run 5 furlongs on the turf. It's a maiden. Special weight, Charles, normally we do a lot of simulations, 1,000 simulations on the races, 1,000 simulations for the early speed to figure out who might be a good value. But unfortunately, well, they're all first-time starters, so we can't do that. But what we can say is that 5.5 furlongs, the profile of a winner usually benefits horses in the 3 races that they've run so far with early speed, only one of which has gone wire to wire. You've had 2 of the 3 winners come from the post number 2 or 3, and the other one from post 4 through 7. Charles, really not much more to talk about than that, so let's just get cracking with the picks.
Yeah, okay. In this race, like you said, it's maidens, and here we go with the babies again. But I'll take the 1 horse on top. This horse is totally bred for this sprint and win early and all that stuff. Solid works. You got Ward as the trainer, 29% with first timers. You got Irad aboard. A lot of pluses for that horse. And you know what? My second choice is the other Ward horse.
So you're stepping out on a limb there with the Ward double, huh? With the Ward exacta.
I mean, you cannot turn your head on his horses. I mean, he's hot.
Well, Chantel told us you better hang on tight because she says that he trains them. They come out of the gates like no others. She said it's like a rocket ship.
So with that being said, the 5 is bred for turf. Ward gets 21% with first time throwing him on turf. And you got Johnny V aboard. I mean, so you got no slouches here for the first 2 picks in this first race. And then the 7 horse is my third choice. This one's very well bred, got some solid works. And guess who's the jockey? Your Kentucky Derby winner, Javier Castellano. And the 6 is my final pick in this race. Bred for speed. You got a hot jockey trainer combo for in the last 14 days, which is Clement and Franco.
Mhm. Well, I'm going to try to beat those 2 war horses. I'm going to go with Marco T, that 6 horse on top that you just mentioned. You had talked a little bit about Franco and Clement. They've run together 10 times. They've won 6 of them. So when Manny gets on a Christophe Clement horse, they catch big checks. And the last workout was pretty nice. Chitara. You better be careful with that 5 horse's name. That's Wesley Ward runner. And if you look at the pedigree, and the only time, in my opinion, pedigree matters, and it's backed up by the data, is the debut. And
you are so wrong with this pedigree thing. It is so important in the beginning. You got to know what these horses should like, especially if the dam has done all these things, and if the dam has thrown nothing but winners maybe on turf, then you know where to aim the baby, at least that they should like it.
Right. Well, that's what I said. The only time it actually generates any alpha, the pedigree, is in the debut. So here we go. The top pedigree number by a long shot. Number 1, Sam's Treasure, is the other Wesley Ward first timer. Decent works. What I didn't like, Charles, is if you look at the workouts there was a little bit, and maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't, but there was like a regular routine here. And then boom, from this one to this one, it got broken a little bit in terms of the days in between. So I was wondering if maybe there was a little soreness in there with that one. So that's why I put it behind the 5 horse. And then the 7 horse, Cyan, maybe has the best workout of all of these horses. 47 and 3 for 4 furlongs is the fastest of 50 horses on April the 20th. And in between there has a couple of maintenance workouts. So get the horse sharp, get it going. I'm going to do $1 exacta box with a trifecta box, with all of my picks for 50 cents. 1, 5, 6, and 7. And I hope it's going to go in reverse order with the highest odds to the lowest odds.
So you pulled the Charles and just took off 4 picks and did the box.
No, I just did a Rich.
No,
I thought they were the best 4 horses in there.
That's not a Rich.
Were you concerned at all about that little gap in the workouts there?
Actually, no. Sometimes things happen. Rain could be one of them, and if you have too much rain, sometimes you just say, you know what, it's not worth me taking a chance of hurting this horse. He's about ready to pop. So yeah, there's a couple of things there. If I would have saw 2 gaps, I would have been worried.
All right. Well, race number 2, 1 mile and a 16th. It's a maiden special weight for $75,000. At a mile and the 16th, you want some early speed. In fact, about 27% of the time on this 1-turn mile and a 16th track, they go wire to wire. Small rail discount for red DGP. 2 through 7 play fair, 8 and out. Pretty good size bonus in there, Charles. So you get a little bit of a bump if you're on the outside posts. We do have a chance to take a look at some simulations here. Not a very deep field, but 1,000 simulations for simulated odds for the who's going to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker and our exclusive C-zone. The higher the score there, the more likely that horse is going to get a trip that mirrors some of its best races in the past. Charles, take us through the numbers.
Yeah, you look at this race. I mean, all these horses do have some kind of speed somewhat, You have the 3 that's got a 45% chance, but you got the 5 at 28%. And look, even with the lowest percentage one has got a 1% chance. So they all have some kind of a Alicia shot. So I think they're all going to be pretty packed up there, but most likely the 3 be on the lead. When it comes to simulation odds, you're looking at that 1 there, slightly over 5-1, 8-1 morning line. And then the 4, 3-1, 4-1 morning line. And then the 5. We got some overlays here in this race here. 1 even money to 6-1 over morning line. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So Barry Knight says, you did a good job yesterday. I guess pick 4s don't matter to Barry. No, thank you. I appreciate the overlook. But in any case, just kidding around. Everything is not for everybody. What's your favorite track that we handicap, Charles?
Oh, that's a good one. My favorite one is probably Keeneland myself.
Probably Keeneland. Boy, for me, I don't know, which one do I like the most? I think I have the most fun when we do Kentucky Downs. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
while
but
off.
that's a wild handicapping.
The thing is, I usually do pretty well there.
Mhm.
And I don't know why. Maybe because Tom and I do all of that foreign stuff with the horses in Europe and on the quirky grass routes over the grass runs over there. I have a
Mhm.
lot of fun with that one. What else do I like to do? I used to really like the California tracks, but the fields are too short now, right?
Yeah, I used to love them, but not
And
anymore.
then I do like parks. We do pretty well there. I've gotten kind of used to what's going on there. So I like the park circuit as well. I do also like the big tracks because the horses run a little bit better to form than sometimes you see at the smaller tracks. From the smaller tracks, Charles, any particular smaller track? I do like Horseshoe Indianapolis because a lot of times you can catch some nice prices there.
Probably of the smaller tracks, probably yeah, probably Horseshoe would be my favorite of all the small ones. But I like all the big ones overall. Give me Aqueduct, Belmont, Keeneland, Churchill all the time, even Gulfstream.
Yeah,
Those
I
type-
like Gulfstream too. I have the Gulfstream Championship meet. I like a lot because we tend to do pretty good on that one too.
but just
The-
don't put it all on Tapeta. Don't put every race on Tapeta.
a fun one I like too is Evangeline Downs at night, like for the nighttime tracks,
Uh-huh.
because a lot of times you can find some hidden speed in those, and if you can, a lot of prices come in at Evangeline Downs. Our first trip through the pace setup for today in race number 2. You see the 5 horse is a lone E horse, wants to get to the front. That Boston song, More Than a Feeling. Let's see if indeed he'll get that shot to be up in the front. Yeah, he have a shot to be there, Charles. He'll be up there with Ormstrom, which has never been close. The horse has not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish wire. For horses, your first time starter. Everybody else kind of wants the pressure. So race setup could be good for that 5 horse in there. As far as the late speed concerns, the red DGP along with Bourbon Chase and More Than a Feeling. So that 5 horse looks like it's going to have a good trip, be close to the front. And those top 3, the 5, the 1, and the 6, you probably find your winner in there. Charles, what do you think?
Well, I think it might be with the 6. The 6 has got some of that tactical speed, that could, sit right off the lead. Most likely be sitting about third or fourth if he does. Blinkers come off today, so they're trying to get this horse probably to relax a little bit better. And you got Irad and Todd Pletcher as a combo, and so that's always dangerous. And then the number 4 is my second choice here. The Dam has 3 winners from 3 starters. You got a hot trainer jockey combo for 14 days. Once again, that's Clement and Franco. And then the 3, that horse tries to go longer today. The trainer Donk gets 12% overall, but you know what? He's much better than that. So I'm not putting too much stock into that percentage. He's a great trainer. Jose Ortiz is the board. So, Jose has now picked it up since somehow I criticized him. And then pretty much that week.
Oh, I see. So you're going to take credit. All right. Way to go.
I'm going to take credit. I think he watched this show and says, you know what? I don't want to disappoint Charles anymore. And all I said was,
I'm sure that's it.
That's all I said. I didn't say it was a bad ride. I just said he was in a funk, and he listened.
So he's a funk, and now he rides with Dunk. There
that's
you
right,
go.
and he rides with Dunk. Yeah. And so, and then my final pick will be the 5. This horse does have some speed to keep up, or even go to the wire to wire. Ran 3rd last time out. Bred for this distance and turf, but he's not going on turf today. So.
Bourbon Chase, yeah, going to be my top pick here. A little better fractions last time out, Charles. And just looking at the resume, the second after layoff should resemble what the first looked like. Number 4, better lucky than good. That's Charles's handicapping angle right there. You got Manny, you got Clement again. Good works for a horse that's making its first time start here. That Boston horse, More Than a Feeling. What I like about this one is you got Kendrick on a speed horse, which is the best fit for Kendrick Carmouche. And then finally, the 3 horse gets my 4th shot in here. Ormstown improved a lot from race number 1 to race number 2. Has a decent workout between races. So if we see similar improvement in race number 3, that one actually might move up a little bit deeper into my picks. 4, 5, 6 over to 4, 6 over to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is my 50-cent trifecta for race number 2. Sound like you had something to say there, Charles.
No.
Now you just wanted to chime in that indeed that is your handicapping style, better lucky than good.
Hey, I'll take it. I mean, I am good, but I'm not. I'll take luck any day.
Yeah, they kind of
Luck, actually, luck is a pretty powerful thing. You have to admit.
Well, good luck. Well, bad luck can be
good luck.
powerful
Yeah.
well.
Well,
So a mile and a 16th on the inner turf here, optional, claiming 80,000 for non-winners of 3. When you look at this race, it has that kind of quirky shoot. Talking to Jose Ortiz on the Horse Center show, that's why you can go back and rewind and watch a lot of the older shows. You can get some great insights to some of these tracks. He said positioning out of that chute was hugely important going into that first turn, Charles. At a mile and a 16th on the inner track, you're looking for horses that have the ability to stalk or close. Only 8% of the horses, so very few manage to go wire to wire. There's a very strong rail bias for Daunt. 2 and 3 perform under par. 4 through 7, a little bit of a bonus. And then 8 and out just really get dinged, Mr. Charles. So positioning is important here in race number 3. You don't necessarily want to be the fastest horse out of the gate, but I would imagine you better be close.
yeah, but now with that 7 being scratched, I think they're all going to have to be a little bit faster than normal. None of them could relax a little bit back there because the 2 has a shot here to now take the lead at 15%. He's going to take most of that percentage from the 7, and that could be very dangerous. They might get relaxed on him thinking he's going to come back. So with that being said, the simulation odds, if we have anything here, it'd be the 4 2-1, morning line's 5-1, but that's going to change because the 2 horses being scratched out, so we might see closer to 2-1 on that horse, though.
Well, those 2 are MTOs anyway, so I don't think a lot of people were expecting to be in there. All right, so Terry, to answer your question, Barry, says that his favorite track is Aqueduct of the ones that we do, so it'll be a bit before we get back to that. And I didn't have to really ask him which one's his favorite one overall.
Yeah,
I think anybody who watches would know the answer to that question. It is, Charles?
So that'd be Golden Gate?
Golden Gate. 5 no pierde in is he saying that 5 is not racing? Do one of these get scratched in this race here, Charles? Can you look real quick? Our way to the winner's circle worksheet. Boy, look at this race. Nobody wants to be on the front. They all want to be closers. And with that in mind, I would expect a pretty slow pace. It does look like the 2 St. Anthony, the 3 Dreams of Tomorrow, they're all going to be in there. Bourbonic.
Yeah.
It did scratch?
Yeah, that's good. No, there's no scratch. No.
And then coming home, it does look like Richie's got game. Of course, Richie's got game. He said the 5 can't lose. Okay, in which race is this? And of course the 5 can't lose. It's Richie's got a game, Charles.
Oh, Jesus. Lord help us all.
Yes, indeed. Well, Richie does have game here, too. A 4-point advantage. It looks like the only horse in here that's probably out of its chance to win is the 1 horse. Daunt, you can never write any single horse off, but if you want to write one off and shorten up the field, maybe the 1 is to write off. And it's probably Charles's first pick.
No, but you know what? Why throw that one out? I mean, the one you have to throw out is, Richie's got game. I mean, there's no way. Mm-hmm. No, this race is pretty interesting. Like we said, there's really not really true speed in here. So it's going to be interesting. I have the 4 on top. This one will be closing. Hopefully there's some speed for him to close at. This horse drops in class. You got Pratt and Todd combo. So pretty dangerous there. The 3's got some of that tactical speed, but he's going to have to go up there a little bit closer, probably normal. This is second start after a layoff, drops in class. You got Franco aboard. And then the 1, yes, I'm going to take that rail horse in there, drops in class. Rail gets 20%. The horse has got some kind of tactical speed to be up there, push it. And then now I'm going to take that 2. I think this one is going to be taking the lead. He's not a true speed horse, tactical more or less. Drops in class. Drysdale gets 10% when he rests him 90+ days. He's a great trainer, so I wouldn't put much stock into that percentage. And you got Rosario aboard, so that could make that horse dangerous. Don't let him get away. Basically, just don't let him get away.
So the 3-horse Dreams of Tomorrow coming out of a $150,000 non-graded stakes race. The resume says the second up should be close to the same as the first one. The concern for me is the distance. 7 times, 1 win, and a couple of thirds. Of course, Richie's got game. So true. So true, Charles. This one's dropping from $300,000 non-graded stakes. The only reason I didn't upgrade it because he's coming from the likes of Hawthorne. Great name though, just an absolute wonderful name there. Richard is the name of kings, right? It means royalty. That's what it means.
So is Charles, by the way. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, but look at King Charles. I don't know that I'd want to be that dude. But this one on the turf, 8 times out, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. At the distance, 3 times, 2 wins, and a second. So maybe indeed the 5 can't lose because he's got the best name you could possibly have. Bourbonic, that 4-horse. This one's another one that's dropping down in class. And its case here is at times has some brilliant late pace, though. I don't really like late pace horses in races that are lacking pace with short fields because everybody should get a pretty decent trip. And then St. Anthony and Daunt, both are coming off the bench. I gave the 2-horse a little bit of a nod there because it has 3 6-furlong workouts in a row, which tells me that they're putting a lot of fitness into that St. Anthony. And that might work to its advantage down the lane. I wouldn't even be surprised to see that horse outperform where we both think it's going to be. The 4th race. Charles, if you had a horse.
We both are doing pick 4s there, right?
Oh, yes, we did. I'm sorry. Our pick 4. Fire away, Charles. I forgot.
Okay. I'm taking my top 2 picks here in this race, the 3 and the 4. Then I'm singling the 3 and the second leg, going with my top 3 in the third leg, and then I'm spreading out the top 4 picks in my 4th and final leg of this pick 4.
And I'm going to do the 3-5 over the 1-3, 2-5-7-8 over the 1 and the 6 for my pick 4 in race number 3. All right, as I mentioned, we will now slide up the program to race number 4 as they will run 1 mile on the dirt. They got quite a few of these 1 mile races today, so keep an eye on the 4th race to get a sense of what the bias might look like for this $80,000 allowance race. At 1 mile, Early Speed did win a lot last year when they ran this 1 turn mile, 31% of the time. They went from gate to wire. There is a very strong inside to outside bias. So the horses closer to the rail will do better than the horses to the outside typically. Charles, speed does matter in race number 4. And again, we find that except for Sweetie and Racing Colors, everybody else has a shot to get.
Yeah,
to
everyone does have a shot of some sort, right? Mm-hmm. The 2, 48% is probably your leader on that to get the lead at the quarter pole. But, don't count out the 4 or the 5 even. And possibly even the 3 could be right there pushing it along in a sense. But I think the 2 will go the lead, and I think the rest will be just pushing them along or trying to get settled down for that final run at the end. And then the 1 horse here in simulation odds, even money, 5-1 off its one and only race, maiden win there, but that's okay. I mean, he looked good. And then that is it when it comes to simulation odds.
And it does look like the 2, the 5, and the 6, according to C-Zone in that order, should be the most comfortable with the way this race pace sets up. In the 4th spot, the 3 and the 4, they want to get to the lead. Silver Skillet, they're both E-types, so that means they go wire to wire when they cash a check at A to Z. Looking at that, oh, sorry, wrong one. I put it upside down. Does look like the 4-horse does have the most early speed of that group, so maybe Silver Skillet gets to the front, kind of gets a little bit discouraged. It's a possibility there. Perhaps if it has a little bit of late legs, could overcome that. But look at that 1 horse in that debut, Charles. 101 late pace score. That's that's a high-class horse score right there.
Yes, and like I said, he definitely looked great in that maiden win. But once again, it's a maiden. And but you got to beat only the people, the horses that you're running against, right? So
yeah,
did its job, and let's see if it can improve here.
Aside from Juliana's Rose and Racing Color, pretty tight between all the others in this race. So probably pretty competitive for everybody except the 5 and the 7. Charles, take us through your ideas.
Yeah, I have the 3 on top, and why I have
he is because he copied my picks identically again.
Oh, geez, you sure did, didn't you? Anyway, the 3 has the best shot, I think, here because the way the race is setting up, he's going to be close to the pace. I think he'll be sitting probably 3rd, but not far off, maybe a length and a half at most. This horse won last time out, has the speed to do it, take over at any time. Rosario, Clement combo is great combo. And the one is my second choice here. One last time out. This one will be closing. Rail gets 28% for this distance. Trainer gets 15% first time to the route. And then the 2 horse ran second last time, likes this distance. So this one will be on the lead. Trainer gets about 20% overall. And then that 6 horse has some speed to go with them or stay right there close, pretty much like the 3. Ran third last time out, second start after a layoff.
So the 3 horse in there, Silver Skillet, did run the best speed figure, but that was way back in December. But has 4 bullet workouts in its last 5 training sessions. So that says she's ready to pick up where she left off and gets the first shot of Lasix on top of that. So good form. It's going to get some good breathing. Number 1, Sweetie made a giant move in the stretch to win the debut. And the speed number that was produced there was on par for these. You got that really strong rail bias as well. Room for the upside in start number 2. But that blowout late pace number that we saw in the pace worksheet just smokes everybody here. Huge in-race advantage. And I don't think it's going to be all that far off the lead like it was last time because there's really no pace in here. Cinderella's Cause showed a little bit of regression in that last race. Does have a nice workout in between. So there could be a rebound in store today for Cinderella. And then finally, Scott Ayaya. What concerns me here is the claim and rise. I do think this horse got a good chance to be on the front. Did improve the second after a layoff in 2 of the last 3 times the horse made a second trip around the track after some time in the barn. Trifecta for me, 1-3 over to 1-2-3 over to 1-2-3-5 and 6. Charles, you got a $5 exacta box.
Yeah, $5 exacta. My top 2, 1-3. I think it's just between those 2.
Yeah, and I have the 1-3 on top as well because again, Charles did copy my picks exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was that kid in school that got the same exact score as the kid sitting next to him on every test throughout all of his high school career, elementary too. 1 mile again on the dirt track. That one turn again, we said early speed matters. It does play well usually, and then you also have a strong inside to outside post position bias. In the 5th race, Charles, we did get a scratch. Box Office Warrior on the sidelines. Again, you can see Charles is again copying my picks just to make it look a little bit different in the end there. But as far as early speed goes, pressure looks like it's the one that's going to put all the pressure on the front.
Yeah, the 7, 94% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. Most likely going to be true. And when it comes to simulations odds, we have the 2, slightly over even money, and we have a 2.5 to 1 at the morning line. And we have that 8 even money and 2 to 1 on morning line. Nice little overlays.
So it looks like Danny Jackson knows you very well. Very true about Charles and copying in school.
Shit.
Hey, come on. It's a kid show, Charles. That's
Oh, sorry.
Just getting it from every side today, Charles. I know. Charles is a good sport, though. In the 5th race, this is pretty balanced. You got a couple that want to be on the front, a couple that want to be in the middle, and a trio in the back. So everybody should be comfortable where they're positioned. Early speed belongs to that 6 horse, Dreaming of Smarty. The pressure will be right there. They got a pretty good gap over the next group. So unquestionably, I think you'll see the 6 and the 7 take command of this race early on. In terms of coming home, Smoking Heat does have an 8-point advantage over Loose Goose. Loose Goose does have a pretty good advantage over Smoking Heat early on. So 8 horse should be better positioned coming down into the stretch to use those late legs. And then as far as the early speed, late speed combination, Loose Goose grades out as number 1. Then it looks like everybody except maybe Bert. Maybe if they had settled with 1 Bert, it would be a little bit better horse. So maybe you could toss the 3 out of your picks, Charles. And again, I suspect it's your top pick.
Nope. I really like the 8 here. First you have to toss out the last race. You toss out that last race. This horse is very, very dangerous here. Drops in class today. You got Irad Todd combination. Has that tactical speed. I think he'll just sit off the 7 until the 7 wants to start going backwards, and he'll take over. The 2 is my second choice here. This horse drops in class today. He's definitely a closer. He's back on dirt, so he could be dangerous, especially at the end. The 5 ran third the last 2 times. They add the blinkers today, so they're going to try to get him a little bit more focused, maybe a little bit more speed out of him too. The trainer gets 22% first after a claim. That's very good. And then the 7 horse is my final horse. I think he'll hang on for some piece of the pie. Ran even last time, drops in class, and like we said, he has the speed, but I just doubt it. He'll go wire to wire.
And you're going to pick 5 this one?
Pick 5. I'm singlingly 8. That's how much I like this horse. And then I'm going to take my top 2 picks in the second leg, top 3 picks in the third, top 4 picks in the fourth leg, and then the fifth leg, I'll go with my top 3.
I also am going to start with the 8 horse in the 5th race, Loose Goose. Although I do worry a little bit. The Pletcher Barn is cold to start Belmont. I think 0 for 7, like a third in there. But this horse is making its first trip into the claiming ranks, which is a 30% angle for Mr. Pletcher. So I suspect you might see that go with Loose Goose. Smoking Heat did run the top last race, speed figure, moving down in class in this start, a combination I always like to see in the program. Does have some very strong late legs. And just in terms of consistency, it is the horse that puts together the most high-quality efforts in this race. Pressure, been consistently facing better horses than the rest of the horses in this race, down in class, and could be better in the second start after a layoff. Then finally, the 5-horse King Hair. Really nice run last out at Keeneland. Has a couple of nice workouts in between, including a very strong one on May the 5th. Try for me, 2-8, 2-7-8, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. Charles, we'll rewind back to race number 1 because it looks like they're about to get going. Here are our picks for race number 1. We couldn't really do any simulations or any of that sort of stuff because
they say they have 2 minutes.
Well, I see him on the screen walking around. So before we do that, let's just go ahead and talk a little bit about Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Today's free track of the day is Belterra. I think they're in their 6th race already today. So you got a couple of them in there that you can get later on. Looks like how many races did they have today? They have 8 races, so you can still get 2 more. The link for that is down in the description below, like it is every single day, because every day we do put up a free track, of course. Next week will be the Preakness, and we will have another wagering guide. That's always a lot of fun and a strong week. Make sure you use the link down in the description below. If, like Jared, you're out in Vegas or you're anywhere where you want to bet baseball today, our good friend, Professor Sides, has his picks available over at Picks with the Professor. Again, there's a link in the description down below. And Winning Touches is another place, another good friend of the show, where if you want to get like some horse racing socks and dress like the kids do, put the horse racing socks on with your flip-flops and look like you're in style in 2023, go get those over at Winning Touches. Charles, that's some advice for you, my friend.
Put some socks on?
Well, put some horse racing socks on with your flip-flops. All right, so let's see what's happening in race. Well, they're still not anywhere near the post yet, Charles. Tomorrow, I will be back with Tom for Foreign Fridays. We're going to do Newmarket. That'll kick off at approximately 1 o'clock Eastern. So check that out. We always do. We always have a lot of fun, Tom and I. And those European races on the grass, you usually find some nice prices. So we like that as well. If you haven't done so already with us, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. If you like what you see so far, please give us the thumbs up. Here are our picks again for race number 1 at Belmont. And we do appreciate those thumbs up. We do appreciate the subscriptions, trying to find our way to 10,000 subscribers in 2023. They say that for every one person that subscribes, 10 were watching. So be that one person for us. We'd appreciate it. All right. In race number 1, Charles, they're still kind of walking around. Here we go with the I guess we opened up the show saying, are they early or late in New York? And we have our definitive answer now.
That's right. I knew they'd be late. But at least they're on the turf and they're about to walk in the gate. So
yeah, well, they're 6 minutes behind, right? Yeah, it looks like they're about to go to the gate right now because the gate is right there. They're about to load the 1 horse, which is your favorite right now at 9-5. Charles's top pick is your favorite. Next up on the board is the 5 horse. So Charles going with the favorites at 2-1. The 6 horse clicks in next at 4-1. And then after that, the 7 horse at 9-2. And then the 2 horse at 8-1. Everybody else, the 4, the 3, and the 4, apparently don't have a chance. I'd say the 3 horse, maybe they're pretty. Looks like that guy's really sweaty going into the gate there, up on the upper chest there. 4 horse looks giant. I mean, that horse is big and thick, Charles. Maybe more.
He's a big boy.
Maybe it looks like he could be a sprinter because he's thick, but he's not all that tall. The 3 horse was a little sweaty for me. So the 5 horse, a little bit of encouragement goes in. The 6 horse goes in calmly. Look at that. And then he decides as they get to the gate, he is not interested. He looked like he was going to stroll right up and in there, didn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't want to go.
Yeah, but those ears are nice and perked, Charles. He looked like he was ready to run. The 7 horse, he doesn't want to go in the gate either. He's putting up a little bit of a fight. He's like, yeah, come on. You guys kidding me? I want to be out schooling. I don't want to be in the gates here. Looks like they're all in for the first race at Belmont. Now the question is, it looks like they're having some issue with one of the horses. I think maybe the 3 horse. They were holding the tail on that one, and of course, it got off to a bad break. And when the gates opened, boy, you had a couple of horses jump out to the lead. The 7 horse, Charles, really popped out there pretty quickly on that.
Yeah.
So he and the 1 have taken the lead. The 6 horse is running really kind of rank, I think, for the first there. He didn't quite sure what he wants to do. This 7 horse looks like he's energized and ready to go, Charles. He's up on the front there. The 1 horse is in second place. Now, looks like the 6 horse has regathered its wits about it after really running kind of green. Coming around that opening turn in
I don't know if they're going to catch that 7.
I don't think
good.
I don't think they are, Charles, because I don't think he's run that hard yet.
No, I don't think he has. But the 1 is going to try to make an effort.
Yeah, it's a long kind of front stretch there. I mean, this race is going to be 7. Question is the 6 going to beat the 1, or is the 1 going to hang on for second?
Yeah,
the 1 is trying to make up. It's going to go 7, 1, 6 all the way around the track. And of course, the rich trifecta box, not the Charles trifecta box, the rich trifecta box comes in. So with that 5 horse running out of the money, the exacta trifecta should pay nice. Hopefully a nice day right there. Let's see. We got some comments. Race number 1 at unfortunately can't read Spanish, but I think at Belmont, if you're asking me how did the race go, it went 7, then the 1, and then the 6. So 7, 1, 6. And I think if the 6 had not run so green in the early part of the race, would have had a good shot to finish second. So there you go. 7, 1, 5, 6. That workout indeed did prove to be the best workout of all those horses there. If you haven't done so, kindly please hit the subscribe button while you're here on YouTube. And if there are some Spanish-speaking folks that want to join us to help us translate, we'd absolutely would welcome that. So we're off to race number 7 now, right, Charles? That's where we get.
No, number 6.
We're off to race 6. All right, yeah. Race 6. Race number 6. Yes, indeed. We haven't talked about a 7 furlong race yet. 7 furlongs claiming 20 grand. The purse is $48,000 for fillies and mares. 7 furlongs does favor horses that have early speed. In fact, this is probably the one where speed is the most crucial today. 39% have gone wire to wire. Post positions 1, 2, 3 pay a little bit above par. 4 through 7, boy, those guys get dinged. And then 8 and out, you get a giant bonus in here. Charles, speed really is important in the 6th race. According to our simulators, Beautiful Karen is going to be one they all have to chase down.
75% chance having that lead at the quarter pole. That horse is going to definitely be out on the lead. The 5's going to have a little bit of a say into that. And you know what? I really believe, personally, I think the 6 will have a say in it. They'll be pushing that horse a little bit, but yeah, most likely to have the lead at the quarter pole. When it comes to simulation odds, we got the 5, slightly over even money, 2.5 to 1 morning line. That's a good little overlay, but that's it. That's all we have for overlays.
I got a couple of horses in here, boy. You got to that Beautiful Karen. If speed does hold up, top speed, very good C-zone score. In fact, a top C-zone score. And I can't tell you how many times, Charles, we've seen that combination in the winner's circle. As far as what the race shape looks like, that 6 horse, yeah, look at this. You got the 8 horse, never been close. Gringotts. So maybe that's one you can cross off your list in here. A 6-horse wants the lead. According to the early speed figures, looks like Beautiful Karen will be the one that gets the lead, just like the simulation said, which could be discouraging for the 6-horse because when it's won, it's done so on the front. The 5-horse and the 2-horse should get good trips. They should be right where they want to be. Late speed belongs to the 3-horse Chase Bryn, as well as Run Devil. You got 4 horses there that can compete at the end. So you have a lot of them chugging as the wire approaches. Overall, the top scores go to the 3-horse and the 5-horse, Chase, Baron, and Run Devil. Speed does matter. So yeah, they'll both be right up there. So maybe the 3 or the 5 is where you're going to find your winner, Charles.
Yeah, well, I mean,
neither one of us have the 3, so we better hope not.
I don't have the 3, but yeah, the 6 is my top choice here. This horse ran second the last 2 times. You have a trainer that gets 27% first after the claim. Excellent percentage there. Third start after a layoff. I love that angle, and I think this horse has some speed to at least keep up and take over when he needs to. The 5-horse is my second choice. This one drops in class today. Ran second last time. Does have some speed to stay real close also. Cuts back in distance, which I think is a good move for this horse. The 1-horse, if you toss that last race, he's right there. He has some speed, cuts back in distance, so he's another one that's going to try to sit right behind that leader. And, of course, your leader will be probably the 2 is my final choice. Trainer gets 21% first after the claim. And this horse does fit in here, but I just think he's going to have a lot of horses pushing him around that track. I think he's going to be easy to catch at the end.
So race number 1 is in the books, the 7, 1, and the 6. The 7-1 exacta paid $17.20 for a buck. The 50-cent trifecta, 7-1-6, paid $27.62 for 50 cents. And then the 10-cent superfecta, if you threw the 4 on the back end, 7164 for 10 cents. If you box those 4 at $1.20, you got back $55.40. Not bad for the opener there. Kind of light, though, I feel like, on that trifecta with the favorite running out, though, Charles. Don't you feel like?
Yeah, I really do, actually. Here's some news that just came out, by the way.
Forte's disqualified for that
from
that
the
test.
hopeful, and Pletcher's now suspended.
For that test?
Yeah.
From the Forte test? Yeah, interesting. Yep. Race number 6, OK Honey, third after a layoff, following a high-quality start and first off the claim. I like Rob Atrust first off the claim. He's an understudy for Robertino Diodoro. And if you watch Robertino Diodoro, you know that when he claims next time out, he's targeting a race. And they usually push those horses forward. So I think you're going to see the 6-horse kind of pressure that 2-horse there. Vegas weekend, everybody likes one of those. In fact, our good friend Jared is on a Vegas weekend right now. Run very competitively when he's run in this claiming range. At the distance 4 times out, a win a second, a couple seconds and a third. Moving down in class and a very strong rail bias as well. The 5-horse Run Devil consistently performs from race to race to race, usually well backed by the bettors, just kind of fighting to find the winner's circle a bit. Maybe the move down in class can help him overcome the challenge. And then Beautiful Karen, really strong chance to be up on the lead, really strong C-zone score. I agree with Charles, though. Probably fades a little bit at the end, but if the pace is right, they might not catch that one. I hope they do, because I have a pick for the 1-6 over the 1-2-6-7. I'm going to single the 1 in race number 8 and then go big 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in the last leg. Hope to catch a price along the way. That would be the goal, Mr. Charles. The goal is to pick the winner in race number 7 now. Which is where I thought we were before. Again, 1 mile. That one is a optional claiming race for a mile. $45,000 is the claiming price. The purse is $85,000. Speed, again, 1 mile is the key factor there. 31%. Go wire to wire. Again, the closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. In race number 7, Charles, inside speed looks like it belongs to, well, the 1-horse.
The 1-horse, yeah. almost 44% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. The 4 might have a say in that, though, at 23%. You got a couple other horses that got some speed that would like to be up there. I just don't know if they're going to be fast enough. So who knows with that? But I think personally, myself, I think the 1 will have the lead at the quarter pole. Simulation odds, you have the 2, slightly over a 2-1. You have a 4-1 morning line, and then you have the 7, slightly over even money, and you have 2.5-1 on the morning line.
As far as pace is concerned, let's see where that 1 lines up. The 1 is actually a presser closer type, so he's going to be what I call a left arrow horse. And indeed, it looks like he's going to be the one that has the best shot to be on the lead aggregation. Looking at that number in Olympic Dreams, should run out 1-2, have a little bit of an advantage over everybody else, although the entire field is within 9 points. So could be a little bit competitive up front. The late speed number belongs to the Masked Marauder. Number 3, a closer with the closing ability. There you see that 2 horse again, Olympic Dreams, up on the front, strong late pace. Sometimes you can't pass what you can't catch, Charles. And that means that 2 horse grades out as the top horse for early speed and late speed. Who grades out as your top pick?
Yeah, this one was interesting for me. I went with the 6. The 6 ran second last time out. Cuts back in distance today. I think it's a perfect cutback too. I think this horse has that tactical speed that could sit close enough and try to make 1 run at him. Rosario's aboard, so you're going to get this. Makes this horse very dangerous. The 7 is my second horse. This horse ran 3rd last time. You get Irad aboard. Trainer gets 25% or 46 plus days of rest. So you got a nice fresh horse there. And then I have that 1, as we said, has speed, ran 3rd last time, cuts back in distance. So he's a danger zone of trying to go wire to wire. But I think there's enough in here to push him along so he could get tired. And then the 5 horse is my final choice here. This is another one that cuts back in distance. This one's definitely a closer, and you'll be seeing him running late. Will it be too late? Maybe, but he definitely fits with this group.
You're doing a try box. You learned from me in race number 1, huh? Cotton monkey, see monkey do.
No. You always copy me. This is my style of trifecta box. All 4 of my picks, and I think because we're going to get decent prices in here. I don't think they're going to be a solid, even money favorite in this race. I don't think.
Aggregation been off since my birthday in July. Work series is really good here, Charles. Ran 1 time at Belmont. Did so at 1 mile, just like today, and it won. And then you have Manny Franco on it, a speed horse. I like Manny Franco on speed horses, man. The guy gets up front. He does much better, in my opinion, than when he comes from off the pace. Hush of a Storm, the 7 horse, collects the 2nd spot after running the top last race speed figure. With a whole bunch of workouts since then. It is the appropriate distance for Hush of Storm. He's run 6 times, 2 wins, a 2nd, and 2/3. He's tried other distances 7 times, managed to win once, didn't finish 2nd at all with a couple of 3rds. So it's a miler for Hush of Storm. Number 6, Wild Banker. Last race was a little bit better than it looks. Well, actually, a lot better than it looks, with much faster fractions at 1 mile and 1/8 relative to what it ran in 1 mile and 1/8 the previous start. I think cutting back that 1/8 of a mile today is a difference maker for Wild Banker. And then number 2, Olympic Dreams, won the last 2 races. So it is our good friend Terry's favorite handicapping angle, going for the hat trick, moving up in speed numbers from race to race to race in every race, the 4 races after its debut. Trifecta 167 over the 17 over the 12567 for me. And then we go off to race number 8, the second to last race card on this 9 card race day at Belmont. This one has a whole bunch of horses in it. Again, that 1 mile and 1/16 on the inner turf with that funky shoot. Again, Jose Ortiz told us that early positioning is a huge deal in these 1 mile and 1/16 inner turf races at Belmont. Overall, does benefit stalkers and closers. The track, only 8% have gone wire to wire, so you probably don't want front runners in there, although I'm going to go against that. Strong rail bias, 2 and 3 play under par, 4 through 7, a little bit of a bonus. 8 and out, a really big penalty, because that must be difficult to get position into that turn, Charles. Again, position matters. You don't necessarily want to be fast, but if position matters, it does look like, well, all the speed scratched, Charles.
Yeah, all the speed scratched, and will the 1 probably Will it get out to the lead at the quarter pole? I don't know. I think these
It will.
horses at this one point are pretty equal myself. I think he will be one of the leaders, at least one of them. Simulation odds. What do we have here? We don't have.
We don't have anything. All the good stuff scratched.
Yeah, no kidding. So, yeah. With that being said, who knows? I mean, the one probably will go to the lead, but I don't feel too comfortable about it.
He'll be on the lead, Charles. I think either it or the 5, Oregano. I suspect the inside horse will get the advantage here because the last thing he wants to do is get shuffled back. So I think you'll see Jose take the one to the lead. According to in the race number 8, looking at the early pace figures, according to recency bias, indeed that one horse gets a 6-point advantage over the 5 horse, Oregano. I do think you'll see those two go 1-2. The one doesn't need the lead. He's a pressure closer. So if he finishes second or third out of that opening quarter, as long as he's got good position and doesn't get shuffled, should be all right. The late speed, a big number going to the 9, the 7, and the 3. That trio should be running the hardest at the end. All of those, the 3 should have some of the best positioning, although the 9 should be in a good spot as well in this relatively slow field. The 9, the 1, the 3, and the 7, about 10 points better than the next group of horses. So I wouldn't be shocked at all to get an exacta or maybe even a trifecta out of the 9, 1, 3, and 7. Charles, how are you going to play this one out?
I'm playing with the 8. I'm taking the 8. I think this horse, it sets up perfectly for this horse. This horse ran third last time. Third start after a layoff. Rice gets 19% with that angle right there. Pratt's aboard. So I think this race is for them to go after. I think the 6 is also a little dangerous myself. This horse has tactical, more on the closing side of speed. Detro is back training, so he's 1 for 1. Mm-hmm. So this is the second horse out there. So
he's going to be 2 for 2, and then all the suspicion will be up again.
Yeah, all of it. I mean, all the rumors were already out after the first one. Are you kidding me?
I'm sure Twitter was fun with that one.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun with it. Hey, he did his time. He's a good friend or so.
Yes.
And Irad's aboard. So the 5 horse is my third choice here. This horse won last time out. You got tactical speed. Second start after a layoff. The trainer gets 17% with that angle. And then I finally have the 1. Definitely has some speed. Ran third the last 2 times. The rail gets 20%. And you do get Jose Ortiz that is doing better since I said he should start doing better.
I know. He heard that, and he's been motivated ever since. And I think he'll be motivated to win this race, Charles, because I singled him in my pick 4 in here because I got a feeling he's got that rail edge. He's going to get a comfortable lead on here. And the 5 horse is the only one to challenge him. And, if some of those other horses like the 2, the 3, or the 4 try to keep pace with the 1, it's going to be, pushed wide with other speed. So I think Jose gets a chance to control the tempo here. And just looking at Jose's career, if you remember when he first came out, he was known as a, get to the front rider and then win from the front. And then when he went down to, not this past year, but the previous year, down to Gulfstream for the championship series, I noticed that he was trying to really work on his timing a little bit down there, coming from a little bit off the pace. Now it seems to me like he's going back to his instincts. I think Jose does best when he's in the front, has his best instincts when he's on the front. He's going to be on the front here, and he's going to up those wire-to-wire numbers at the 1 16th miles on the inner turf. Timbuktu, the 6 horse, navigated this Belmont inner turf course a couple of times with a second and a well-beaten third, so he should be comfortable with where he's at today. Your 8 horse, Royal Spirit, was a little bit better in the later part of his last race, has the potential, though his resume is kind of 50-50 on the third after a layoff, and does like to hang at this distance. 6 times out, has a win, has a second, but 3 thirds. So that tells me the horse is just kind of competitive, but not the right distance for that horse necessarily. And then finally, number 9, Our Country. Everything says this horse fits in this group of races, but he gets so far back that sometimes he can't get up there. He has to go way wide, and you want to be surprised to see another way wide trip here as well. I'm going to do a try with the 1-6, with the 1-6-8, with the 1-6-7, 8, and 9. And that'll take us to the last race on the Belmont card today. Race number 9, In this case, they're going to run 1 mile on the regular turf, Charles. And the bias so far has been 50-50 in that. And race number 1, the 7-horse won. That's who won. Number 7. It went 7, 1, and 6. The 1 mile out widener turf course, Charles, favors no particular running style. 1 out of 5 horses go wire to wire, so maybe a little bit of an advantage there. The inside 3, those horses have done exceptionally well. Again, another one of those goofy shoot races in there. And then 4 and out, they've all got punished. So if you have a horse that you really like on the inside 3, even at the odds, don't be afraid to back it. They do have a race advantage. As far as early speed is concerned, Charles, again, all of the also eligibles off to the sidelines, taking their speed with them.
Yeah, they always leave all the closers behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this race was kind of like that anyway. It was up in the air. Probably the 3 is going to get the lead. Got an 8% chance, but you got the 1 that might try to do something. Who knows, really? Basically, who breaks the best? Probably.
I would guess that, yeah.
And simulation odds, we have. Look at that 3 though.
Stormandy.
2-1 and 20-1 morning line.
Ooh,
there is a serious overlay there, people.
Something going on there, Charles.
Something. And then we have the 7, slightly over even money, 2.5 to 1 morning line. So yeah, you might for a couple of dollars might want to throw in the 3, maybe for some exotics, the back end, something there, just for watch out
for things and giggles.
Yeah, watch your behind on with that one maybe.
Really strong on the outside, too, with the 10 and the 11 C-zone scores. Those 2 should get the best trips in terms of comfort zone for them. They should be right in their wheelhouse, the darkest green of all. The last time, our pace sheet shows us that 3-horse Stormandy, with all these scratches, Charles, stands out there as a lone E-horse. Get the lead, and he can run comfortable fractions. That 20-1, if you get that, you might look really pretty in that. As far as the early speed goes, I forgot to take all these horses out of there. How about that? So none of these are in there. Let me just delete these guys altogether, and then we'll go ahead and we'll recolor them, and then we'll reshift them again. So the early speed belongs to the 12-horse. He's not. Yeah, he's in there. Elevated cause.
No, you got it wrong.
He's not here under either, huh? I forgot to take him out. All right. So the 11. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Redo that. Just redo the list.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Over here. Wrong button. There we go.
Something's wrong.
Early speed belongs to the 1-horse, Mr. Charles. Second and Reed, although all of them have some pretty similar numbers. Considering the 3 likes to be on the lead, I wouldn't be shocked at all if it takes the lead. Although the 1 on its inside might decide it's not going to let the 3 clear. Late speed goes to that 7-horse Pioneering Spirit, a pretty good advantage over the rest of that field. And finally, the early speed, late speed combination is going to belong to that 7-2, 8-point advantage over everybody else, which is a pretty good advantage. It's going to probably be your favorite, Charles. I think the 7-horse. I just have concerns with a horse that's run 12 times and hasn't won.
Yeah, it's tough. And then if you looked at my pick 5, I took my top 3 there, and honestly, I could have probably gone 6 or 7 deep. Be honest with you, this race that I took the 6 on top. This horse is bred for the turf. You got Brown, this trainer, gets 20% with first timers. Got some solid works. Got Franco aboard. So in a race that I think is pretty much wide open, why not? You take something like that. He looks good on paper. So I'm going to go with the 9 as my second choice. This horse drops in class today. Toss that last one out. Remember, they're babies still. They're learning. Adds Lasix today, so he could be a little bit more dangerous today. And then the 7-horse, I'm going to put him at that 3rd spot. Give him another try. Drops in class today. Ran even last time. So you got Ortiz, Jose Ortiz and Rice combo there. And then finally, the 4 is my final pick. Tries the turf. Dam has 9 winners from 11 starters. 4 of them are turf winners. So that puts him right in this race too. So he fits with this group.
Variable cost, the 6-horse Chad Brown, first time here, has the strongest breeding score for you, Charles, by a pretty good thing. But I'm a little curious, Charles. $285,000 horse, so not inexpensive by any measure. And he's going to debut in a maiden claiming 40. You'd think that they'd give this horse at least one maiden special weight try before putting him in the maiden claiming ranks. No, so I'm a little suspicious about that 6 horse.
Well, yeah, that means warning. Something's not quite right.
Right. I mean, because they spend a
What
lot
would
of
that
money
be?
and you really
Honestly,
give them
it
up.
could be a million things. It could be foot problems. Maybe something's going to come up in a knee or a stifle. Maybe they might have some feeling in the stifle. Anything like that. I mean, who knows? It could be a
Yeah, I
million.
just find it curious that you spent almost $300,000 on a horse and you debut him in maiden claiming a Chad Brown horse nonetheless. I think you'd give him at least one shot in the MSW before you move it down to the claiming ranks. But
Well, that means to me that they might not have more than one shot.
Yeah, might not. Pioneering Spirit, that 7 horse, finished second the one time he ran at this level. Other than that, he's had 11 other chances to win it. Hasn't gotten it done. Those are the most in the field. So that's why I downgraded him. Although it does look like the best horse in the race in terms of the way all the statistics point. Steady Scheming, the 9 horse, is your only pure maiden special weight dropper, making the second start off of the second career start. So it does have some room for upside in here. Getting first time Lasix, so hope they get some improvement. Maybe the Lasix helps, and the biggest drop in horse racing, gets the job done. And then Stormandy, that's the next horse up for me. That's that huge overlay. Could be the front runner on there. It's interesting, though, is in that last race, it kind of got off in the first grass go to a sluggish start. And usually gets off to a pretty good start. So it kind of knocked down its early pace numbers a little bit, but then showed some real interest at the end of the race. If the horse can put together its typical start and now its newfound love for running and closing together from beginning to end, that horse might actually be worth 2 to 1. Trifecta 6, 7, 9 over to 6, 7 over to 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, because I do think this one is pretty wide open, Charles. And that wraps up our picks today for Belmont on this Thursday. Again, tomorrow I'll be back with Thomas for Foreign Friday at Newmarket. Not quite sure what we're going to do on Saturday yet. Something that's come up on my schedule, so it would be just Terry and Charles if they decide that's something they want to do. Here are our full picks today for Belmont. Race 1 is in the books. It went 7, 1, and 6. We both had those horses. I had the trifecta. Race number 2 coming up, Charles. We have this selections. Charles with a 4, 6 exact the box. I have a trifecta 4, 5, 6 over to 4, 6 over to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, 1 minute to post.
So do you want to kind of stick around? Yeah, it's going to be more. It's going to be like 7 minutes because last time they were 6 minutes past by the time they actually ran. You have any final thoughts, Mr. Charles, before we get up and get out of here today?
No, that's about it. Now just starting to watch everything and see who's going to be going to the Preakness and who's we're going to have some new faces in the race. So it looks like
Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And again, we'll have all of that covered over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. As there's always a daily free track over there. We appreciate everybody showing up, as always. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. I want to say thank you. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't tell us who gives us the thumbs up. But I want to thank Beverly Taylor out there in in the middle of California, and Ed Abel for the thumbs up on Facebook. If, like Beverly and Ed, you agree, thumbs up are appreciated. They help us with the algorithms. Hit the subscribe button as well. And of course, Monday, I'll be back with Terry for Parks. Tuesday with Terry for Parks. Wednesday, I'm not quite sure what we'll do with Terry because Charles will be on the move. And Thursday, we'll be back for Belmont. I know that next Friday, Tom won't be around for Foreign Fridays. And then, of course, next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Sean and Julie will get you all prepped for the Preakness, Charles. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. I try to see if I can get us to post time on there, but it
they're starting to head back to the gate now.
So you want to stick around for a couple
minutes?
Stick
around. People want to see my beautiful face.
Yeah, they want to see it. They want to see it disappear is what they want to see.
People, let's just vote. I mean, you want this on the channel.
Yeah, they want it to go off the channel. That's what they want. For sure. All right, so race number 2 again. Let's take a look at the way the race looks like. Does look like the early speed belongs to the 3, Ormstown. Good, strong chance, but everybody gets some score. The 5 horse, More Than a Feeling, grades out as the horse with the most likely trip to be to its comfort zone. Also has the strongest overlay in there with the 5 horse More Than a Feeling. So keep an eye on that. When I see 2 out of 3, usually something that bodes pretty well. Looking at the Way to the Winner Circle worksheet, the 5 is a lone E over there. Should compete for the lead with the Ormström, which has not been able to hold on at the end. The strongest early pace late race scores to the 5 More Than a Feeling. Maybe that 5 gets to the front and doesn't give it up in race number 2. Charles is in my picks. I think he made it as your 4th selection in there as well. All right, let's see. Yeah, they're still kind of like walking around, like meandering, Charles.
What is it with some of these tracks? Once again, another reason why I like Keeneland.
Okay, here they go. It looks like they're about to get to there. They're showing the starting gate. So let's stick around. Right now, that 6 horse Bourbon Chase is your favorite at 4-5. Now 3-5. So some late money coming in on that one. The better lucky than good. Charles's favorite handicapping angle is your second choice at 3-1. Next up is the 2 horse Squid Gamer. That one is 5-1, and it's one that neither one of us have in our picks, Charles, but does have the second best C-zone score. After the 2 horse, you're going to find that the 5 horse More Than a Feeling, the Boston horse with the strong overlay at 9-1. So just from a betting standpoint, Charles, it looks to me like the best value in this race at 8-1 now belongs to that 5 horse. So maybe at $2 win, place, and show on the 5. How do you break your bets down on that, by the way, Charles, too? Because does it make sense to put $2 on the win, place, and show, or does it make sense to be progressive, like 2 to show, 6 to place?
I think when it's 5-1 or higher, it's worth it, win and place. And then once it's 10-1 or higher, I go win, place, show.
So at 8-1, you just kind of stick it out between the win and the place.
Win
all
and
right.
place. Mm-hmm.
It looks like they're all about to get in there and get rolling, and the gate has opened. And they're off, and it's a pretty competitive start. They've lined up around 4 wide across the track there. The 3 horse Ormstown, as projected, is your pace setter, although the 5 horse says he's not interested in letting the 3 have the lead. He's working kind of hard up there, I feel like, up on the front. It looks to me like the horse to the outside, the 6, is moving the easiest of all right now. The 3 has re-rallied Ormstown on the rail to get the lead, so maybe the jockey did feel like he's going a little too fast with that 5. The 1 horse, Red DGP, making a move up the rail as they head through the opening quarter in 23-6.
Yeah, they're pretty, pretty close together, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can make a big move at any time.
Yeah, and it looks like they're really kind of slowing down a little bit too. To me, the 1 horse looks like it's kind of fighting. The 4 horse is trying to make a move. The 3 horse is your horse on the outside. The 3 horse maintains that lead there, Charles. Looks like they're going to have to come run that one down because it's kind of extended a little bit off everybody as they go through the turn. Jockey on the 5 horse is sitting down right now. He's going to make his move to come get this 3 horse, try to corral him. 6 is kind of patient, but I think it's kind of hard to run 3 wide all the way around the track at and win. It's a kind of a difficult task, in my opinion. And this is especially at a race that's a mile and a 16. The 3 maintains your lead here. It looks like the only one, I don't know if anyone's going to catch this horse, Charles.
I don't think anybody's going to catch him. It looks like, he's going to pull away. The 4 finally changed leads. Too late. The 5 is dropping back.
Well, 5 looks like he's going to kind of he's going to duke it out to the end. But the question is,
the 6 is going to finish second.
Yeah, it's going to go 3, 6, 5. The 5, I think the 5 put in a pretty good effort there, but 3, 6, and 5. So we had all the horses, just not necessarily in the right order there. I think the lesson that we've learned in the first 2 races today, Charles, is focus on speed.
Yeah. The other horses, actually, the 3 was the only one running well and changed leads at the perfect time. All the other horses did not change leads or change leads way too late. They were falling back by then. That's very important to change your leads right at this top of the stretch. It's very important.
You could keep that momentum going. So there you got it. It went 3, 6, and 5. We had the picks in our picks, just not in the correct order. Again, speed held up in the first 2 races, so maybe move your speed horses a little higher in your rankings. All right, Charles, until we get back together tomorrow with Thomas and I for Foreign Fridays at Newmarket, we hope that no matter what you do today, you do have indeed God's favor and grace, and that every single thing that you do ends up in our good friend Jay Marco's
Winner's Circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic Trent Thursday.
That's it.